Hey you, so on this video, what you should know before you buy, I'm going to be just answering a few questions that have been asked over the past couple of weeks, and just thought I'd put it into one video instead of trying to find one whole video for each question. So it's just what you should know basically. So I've been asked a question about, for instance, the Queen's Beast Gold and spotting and weight and the likes of. I'm just gonna round it all up into this one video. Now, obviously I'd like to put out there, if you have anything you think somebody should know before purchasing, well, regardless of what it may be, it could be whether you know gold and silver for mugs, or you shouldn't be buying gold or silver, or anything regarding anything relating before somebody should buy, go ahead and leave that in the comments. And once again, don't forget to also go ahead and subscribe if you like the video. So jumping straight into this, what you should know before you buy is going to be, the first one I'm going to be speaking on is the Queen's Beast coins. Now, a few people know this and a few people just don't want to believe it, but they come in, I'd say, in comparison to some other mints, they come in shoddy-ish quality, depending on your standards and what you expect from a bullion coin is what they're labeled as. But Queen's Beast coins, you can purchase them, and just to understand the whole incubation period when we're talking spots or something of that nature, you can see a little milk in there. You can purchase the coins and they can be just fine. You can then put these coins away and lay away, safe storage or whatever you like, and you know, come back to them at a later date, and we can see this normally starts with some type of milking around, as you can see them all bundled up together around the rim, the outer rim, and you'll come back to them and they'll be stained, or they'll have some type of spots or dinks or imperfections. And I'd say out of all the series I've had questions about regarding whether it was normal and, you know, a bit of frustration, it's been the Queen's Beast series. I've done videos on this before, but if you wasn't aware, these coins do suffer quite badly from spotting over a period of time. What that's going to do to resell, I don't know. It depends on who you're reselling to. You could think, oh, mine are perfect, but I've said before, if you wear glasses or just don't really go over them, you may be in for a shock at a later date, a rude awakening. So it's just part of the beast, you know, part of nature, the nature of the beast. It's just part and parcel. It's something you need to understand, acknowledge, know. They are sold at somewhat of a medium premium, and there is nothing that you can do about it. You know, I've had a load of them. There are, you know, preventative measures you can take, and that's with the silica gel pads and the tarnish strips, and that works. But what I've come to find out in the long run when regarding silver and milk spots is, it is what it is. It's a problem we have that dealers, I'd say mainly mints, want it to just go away in your head. So, you know, you can contact the mint and ask about this, and I don't know if they have a standard reply, but I don't think there's been enough outrage in the entire, stacking, collecting community as a whole, because it's something that they can fix but have no intentions of fixing, and they'd rather your mindset change and disappear. There's absolutely nothing that can be done about it. You can get it, put it in capsules and the likes of, it can be a high premium coin. I think when we look at a series like this and many other coin series, and you know, you can sell it and it's got all of this and that, I'm still going to sell this for the premium that I think it should be sold for. It's not going to stop me selling it. It would be clearly pictured and it would be clearly labeled as that. I don't think it's a massive turn off looking at it for what it is, because it's not like 99 or 100% is perfect and you've got the 1% that isn't. If you're looking at a batch, and we're taking all of the coins in the one Queen Bee series here, and they're all going to have some type of imperfection, it just is what it is. You're just moving forward with an imperfect batch. I mean, that's why they grade coins at 70, I guess. You know, nothing can really be 100. Does it affect value? I've resold proof and standard, and no, it is what it is, as mentioned. But it all depends on what you're on. If you're collecting them for yourself and you receive them perfect, and then they end up turning out like this, well then, you know, it's going to be a bit of a dent or a hit for yourself. But from what I've seen, it doesn't affect resale, but it can, you know, there's, if not labeled properly, or somebody can receive it and say, well, I thought the spot was a lot less or not as bad as now I've now received it. So it's just something we'll need to find out at a later date. But currently I can guarantee you there's griffins and lions out there with spots, and if you clock, a lot of the dealers when reselling, use the computer generated image, so they won't show a true image of the coin. They all have these fancy computer generated images. I've sold coins with spots in the past, proof and BU, to dealers, and they've had no issues whatsoever receiving. So that could be an option if a coin's doing very well, sending it on to a dealer, because they're more than, you know, happy to accept the coin that comes spotted. They don't go over everything, and the majority of their stock comes spotted from the mint. So I wanted to put that out there, you know, something you should most definitely know. Once again, the Queen's B series, I would say just as like 99% of the other series out there, but the Queen's Beast does more so than others because the Royal Mint has somewhat of a rep that the Royal Canadian Mint have when it comes to quality. You know, as good as they are for in terms of high quality stuff, they also have a shoddy quality record when it comes to silver bullion, even proof gold, a lot. I wouldn't put them up there when it comes to quality control. So that's something that you need to take on board. On top of their coins, or these bullion coins already having issues, that's something you also need to pay attention to. So yes, before you buy any Queen's Beast coins, be aware that they're going to have some type of dink. There's always shoddiness around the edges, but it hasn't stopped them from selling them for a premium or gaining traction in terms of likability and favorability with people. So that is that. Next question was, well, if these spot up, what coins don't? What's the best coin that doesn't milk spot? To answer that question, I would say there is no coin that doesn't milk spot. All coins milk spot. All silver coins milk spot, full stop. There is no, well, I've had this coin from this mint and then you was just one of the lucky few, and keep checking. You know, like I said, it's usually some form of an incubation period from however long when the dealer got it to you got it. But no, there is no coin out there to date that is prone. There's no coin that will not suffer for them, full stop. What I've come to bank on and the method I use is this. If your coin, whichever coin that is that you're liking, comes from the mint without a capsule, well then, you know, you're already running the gauntlet. You're at 50-50 straight away. I want to put yourself at them records. You have some mints that are just produce shoddy work. Don't want to throw no mints out there. The Korean mint, Royal Canadian mint. I know their proof stuff's meant to be immaculate, but a lot of their stuff doesn't come encapsulated, and their high premium isn't always proof. I'd say Royal Mint easily. There's a ton of mints out there that already come with shoddy quality control, and then add on to that they don't encapsulate their stuff from production. So, you know, a dealer may do it. You may be able to find capsules for these coins or any other coins. Why I say if it doesn't come encapsulated, because when we're talking perf mint, back to these guys, and we're now mentioning what I would say is your closest to the best or your safest bet, by all means, know where they 100% you're not going to have no issues. But it's that added level of protection that they give on a lot of their coins, on a lot of their series. It's more of their truly, as the Tower of London crow outside, it's more of their truly bullion grade, so their kangaroo coins and a lot more of their other bullion grade coins that do not come encapsulated. When you're talking a lot of their low, high or medium premium coins, they come encapsulated from the mint. So you just know that they've taken that extra level of, you know, TLC when it comes to some of their coins. It doesn't cost, well, it doesn't seem to cost them anymore. I know the Royal Mint do it, but I believe they just encapsulate them as a, you know, bothersome thing. It's not like it's part and parcel, and it's with a lot of their coins. But when you're looking at something like the Perth Mint, whether it's their Lunar coins, as we're seeing here, a lot of their new gen 50k, 25k coins, these standard come encapsulated. Whether we're talking their old school Kookaburra coins, these come encapsulated. These are all good signs when we're talking about collector coins or coins that you're paying a premium for. The fact that they already come encapsulated, I think you're onto a good start. And this is from any long running mint or new mint. If your coin's coming out and it's coming encapsulated, you know, I'll rise the percentage up to, you know, a 70-30% on whether it's going to be a horror coin. By all means, once again, I highly stress here, there's no way your coin is going to be 100% spot proof. You know, all coins, all silver coins spot up, full stop. To avoid it, there's been measures people have taken out there, whether they've converted and gone into poured silver, for instance, where they've steered clear of anything that's been minted or pressed coin wise, and just gone more into the collectible, extreme collectible form. I know antiquing is silver, but it's been treated to antique the look, where you get a coin that's going to be any type of spots or imperfections are masked up from the approach that they've taken there. I believe people were saying back in the times 925 silver. So a lot of the older stuff before the mints started using whatever process they was using that created a lot of the spots on the newer stuff. Those are options to take. Fractional silver that's not 100% silver also doesn't spot up as much. But you know, if you want more of the modernish stuff and you know the stuff that's in now that you can make a premium off or you know a buck off, whether you're cowboy flipping, then you know if your mint starts off with a from mint production in a capsule, you're onto a good start. You won't do too wrong with Horror Stories putting your money on these guys first. I only know of a handful, you know, Australian Mint, Perth Mint. There are other mints, but off the top of my head, cannot remember them right now. So that is answering that one there. So the next one is in a doomsday scenario, gold and silver are not going to save you. Putting it out there before, and I'm putting it out there again. The way I've always seen it is, you know, if you imagine you've got a hurricane outside your front door and you've got, you know, 500 ounces of silver and 200 ounces of gold in the basement, you're not saved. You know, the way I see it, I don't put no energy into that, as I've mentioned many, many times. It'll be something that will help you in the build-up, you know, when we're working on the getting right phase. But at the time that that's going on there, it's not going to help or save you in any type of way. There's things you purchase for any type of emergency, depending on what your emergency is. So you need to look at it like that. You've got the zombie apocalypse outside. I'm sure you're going to need shotguns and silver bullets and the likes of. But just that's my answer to that question there. You know, if we have some type of doomsday scenario on the come up when we're rebuilding, this is when this stuff here will help you, because you know your financial or your fiat or your currency could have been demolished and you're rebuilding. So if you've got stuff of worth, you'll be able to convert it into the new chocolate buttons that we're using, or you know, Facebook, Bitcoin, crypto coin that's now in. So that answers that one there. Now when we're talking gold, gold is technically issue free, but I would say the worst offenders when we're talking gold, for me, all day, every day, personally, is going to be gold Libertads. These would be my worst offenders by far. Even when it comes to getting these out of the capsules, you can see there, this coin's been absolutely, I had to chill this one practically out of its bloody holder, and it's down there stuck in there. But just as a whole, from what I've seen on other people's videos and people speaking about, hands down, if you want to know what the worst offenders, when we're talking gold, it's always going to be the copper spots we're referring to. And the only pieces I've had that have been absolutely horrendous when it's come to suffering from these has been the Libertads, the gold Libertads. That's going to be the only thing I'll put forward when we're talking about gold here. For me, gold Libertads have been the worst offenders. They I don't know what kind of special sauce they put in their mix out there in the Banco de Mexico, but their gold Libertad spot, it's just part and parcel. So something you should know before you pick those up, that you're going to have a very high chance of suffering from something that the gold suffers from when it comes to issues, and that's going to be the copper spots. You know, silver suffers from the milk spots, gold suffers from the copper spots. I have had it on other coins, but nowhere as bad as I've had it on these coins. I think there's only one coin that's not affected that's been shown here. That would be the only issue with gold, and that would be specifically Libertads have a horrendous history when it comes to spotting up or not. Now, the next question I was asked was about weight and, you know, high premium bars and the likes of. So I'll put this out there now and say, if it was weight versus high premium versus government and all the rest of it, I would say weight in the long run is the best. So what do I mean by that? Yes, you know, somebody may say I'm stacking weight, so I don't care about the fancy images and all that. When they say they're stacking weight, I don't think they even care about how it comes. If they can get the cheapest form of silver for the cheapest price, under spot, at spot, that's what they're involved in. I've always looked at it as quality and high liquidity when I'm picking up mine. So I want a governmented coin. They look at it like, you know, weight. I can see the benefits of both and say weight in the long run could work, in the long term could work. Downsides, I think I was the first to put it out there. If you bought in the high, then, you know, you're always catching up on yourself. You can really get stuck in the mud if you bought one at silver's peak or gold's peak. But I would say if you're in it for a lifestyle in the long term and that doesn't really scare you purchasing in the highs and you're going long, in the long run, if you're dollar cost averaging, pound cost averaging, you can bring that down. So as long as it's a lifestyle for you and a savings vehicle for you, that only downside of weight being king, You know, purchasing in highs is not going to really affect you as long as you keep on purchasing, or you're purchasing large amounts or small amounts over years until you reach that goal, or you retire, or, you know, you decide to tuck into your pot. There is many benefits. Whether, you know, currently, interesting fact, at the time of release in this video, spot is at a fantastic price. We're seeing new highs for gold, I believe. And I had a friend that wanted to liquidate some silver. Silver's at, I think in pounds, we're talking about £12.20 right now. And that was interesting because the dealer that he normally liquidates with would give him 1% below spot. But as it currently is, and it's taking this big spike at time of release in this video, the dealer's now offered him 5% below spot. So either they can see it as turbulent times, or they want to cover themselves because they know it can be very sporadic and it can dip tomorrow. He's not happy with that. You know, I've said it's not that, it is bad in comparison to 1% below spot, but this is what they do. They constantly adjust, you know. So we've had a big spike up and he wants to sell quick and dump and jump into Bitcoin, and they're covering their back end and their front by now increasing the percentage that they're willing to give towards spot. So when we're talking weight, if you're 1,000-ounce bars, 10-ounce bars, whatever you're picking up, you know, whenever it comes to stuff like that, you'd need spot to damn near double and some to really gain. If that's the case, then you've got nothing to worry about when you're talking about weight. But depending on how much it increases, how many people also run towards the exit or sell door, you're going to find, as I mentioned every time, dealers doing little things to really cover themselves. That's why I personally prefer the highly liquid, highly recognized coins, regardless of what spot does, because I know they'll always want it. My friend is trying to sell some Britannias. Now, looking at these pieces, all big 1,000-ounce or generic, I've seen how dealers can act when they drag their feet towards purchasing, but we won't know until that time comes. But I do believe weight in the long run is the better purchase, but I don't think I can see the benefits of that, should I say. I don't think it is the better purchase. For me, it's always going to be governmented gold or silver. So, you know, hopefully that one has been addressed. And I think that's it, guys. We're going to wrap this one up as we're coming on towards 20+ minutes. So once again, if you think there's something that somebody should know before they buy, obviously talking about gold or silver, certain coin series, whether it be steer clear of this series or, you know, jump on this one, or whether you've got a certain series that you have no issues with, please let us all know in the comments. That'd be fantastic. Hate or love it, guys. It'd be fantastic to know what you think of this video. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.